Hey there, everybody. It's Steve back again. And I saw a post on Chief Talk that has garnered a ton of responses, over 50 responses, and over 1,300 views. So obviously, it's something a lot of people deal with, and it's this brick sill issue. And it does look like X11 isn't working quite right. I have a this right here, and it's a symbol. These are just polyline solids, and I've created this. And if you know, in the old days, you could convert this when you convert the symbol, and you select molding, and you go okay. And I've already done this and put it in your library. I've called it Brick Sill 20. You were in the old days, like a few weeks ago, you were able to go here and attach that brick sill. Go to your user library, and I created this one, Brick Sill 20, as you can see right here. So it's a molding. I don't need an apron. But look what Chief does. It just brings it in as a block. It doesn't even, it's not even a sill. I'm not sure why, but it does. So it's not working properly. The molding works because if we, let's just say, take this off, okay? If we go to the floor plan and I use a molding line, and I attach that molding 20 to it, works perfectly. We can look at it here and you'll see it. Let's raise it up. I'm going to use transform replicate and just raise it up like 20 inches or so. And then let's move it into place. Shrink it down here a little. Take a look. And it looks pretty good. It's a little high. I might move it down -1 or something just to see. And it's still too high. And transform replicate works pretty good, -1.5 or something. And it's still actually a little high on the back. But you see what the problem is. This molding does not cut out the brick that is in the wall. So it's sticking through the molding. So you basically have to put your molding in there perfectly flat. And, that won't represent a sill, so that doesn't work. So this doesn't work. It used to work, where we attach it as a sill, but no longer. So what's the solution? Well, personally, for me, I would just create a molding. I would, for each specific window or whatever, you might have to do this, but zoom in down here and use a polyline. Just draw it randomly here and pull it back. This is just so you can get your profile. And what if we did something steep like this and pull it back? Pull this up, and that can be a brick sill right there. So it's just a molding polyline. Just put it right, click on your library and add it. We will call it brick sill test 25. I've done so many I don't remember. So go back here and go like this. Use exterior cell, clear that one, and go into your user lib catalog here. Brick sill test 25. And it attaches it as a molding. And then what you need to do is find coarse brick. And I've already pulled this into the library, so I have it in my plan materials. But this is brown brick right out of the catalog. So you just need to find the brown used brick. Oh, that's right, I don't have it. So got to go to library and pull out the coarse brick, okay, and paint it. And there you go. Now in vector, it's going the wrong way, the pattern. So the only thing you can do there is use your rainbow tool here, and in the pattern, change this to 0. And it's fixed. So that's how I would do a brick sill if it were me. You know, with shadows on, it looks pretty good. Standard view looks great. And you can do the same thing for a sill. Oh, look at this. Why does Chief do that? Oh, because everything that's a molding got changed. Interesting. Okay, let me go back here a few steps. There. So what happens is when I do this, when I use exterior sill clear and go to my library and attach this. This is a molding. And I want to paint it with the brown brick, right? Coarse brick, used coarse brick, okay? I got to go down here and just hit component. I do this all the time. It drives me crazy. And then again, you're going to see in vector it's going the wrong way. So use your rainbow tool here and change the angle. I wonder if I click global symbol mapping, what would happen? No, doesn't change the pattern. So I just changed that to 0. And there you go. All fixed. And my trim is still correct. So standard view looks pretty good. It's fast. If you're doing a whole house with brick and you got windows, then, you know, just make it your default. Hey, let's take a look at one more thing. And I've dropped another window in here. Let's take a back clip cross section through here. And let's work on this sill a little differently this time. Same thing, do a polyline and draw it here. But let's draw this more like a brick. Let's make this like 3 inches here. And let's just rotate it like it's a brick. And bring it down. I'm going to turn off my temporary dimensions. Let's use point to point here and just pull it right to there. And then just pull this back. There we go. And let's just pull this in. About like that. And the one thing about Chief is when they make this molding, this line is going to be the bounding box. It's going to create the bottom. And see this little area right here? I'm going to put a polyline here so you can see this little area right here that's highlighted. When you look up underneath the sill, you're going to see a gap right there. So let's just do it and see what happens. So we click on this and make this a molding, add it to our library. I'm going to say brick sill 26. And go back to our window here. Where is it? Right here. And let's add this window. Let's add this sill to this. Use exterior sill. Brick sill 26. No apron. Click OK. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have fixed this. No, you can see. If you look up in there, you can see the OSB. See it right there? Because of the bounding box of this sill. And that's why I draw it with the flat bottom. But I was thinking possibly there is one more way to do this that might work. And that is, what if we broke it right here and pulled it? No, that won't work either. Still have a gap right here. How about if we did this? Like this. I wonder what that would look like. So let's just make this a molding and do an experiment. Brick sill 27. Go to our window. Oh, keep going to that. and go to 27, this weird shape thing. Go OK. And now you can see where it fills it in. So what would happen if we painted it? What would it look like? So let's grab this. We know it works. And paint it. And really, that looks pretty good. You're getting the, if you see up there, you're getting the coarse brick tucked in there. But I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. At least now you get your brick on a slope, and in vector view, it looks a little more realistic. That might be the way to go. And so there you go with moldings. That kind of helps. And one more thing I wanted to talk about was if you add casing on here. So if you take this and you say, let's have some casing and maybe make it, I don't know, 7 1/4 wide, just to make it wide. The sill will adjust automatically. But the funny thing about Chief is it doesn't put a piece of casing on the bottom. And you would think maybe if you went in here and did treatments, you could do something, but they don't work. And so this is a funny thing, because if you put a window in, let's just add a window right here, and it had casing, and you wanted to put the sill under the casing, like this, and have the sill down here, there's really no way to do it automatically like this sill. You'd have to use a molding. It's not a good way. It's an issue with Chief right now. So I'm not sure what the workaround is for that. Maybe one of the gurus will chime in and give us a clue. Let's just talk about these sills a little more. And this is a view of that same house, but I've put stucco on the walls. And you can use those molding profiles to create some pretty cool, sills for houses that have stucco. And this one here is just a window with casing, and I put a sill on it. And again, you can draw these sills. You can draw them anywhere. You can draw them right on your floor plan view, like I did this one right here. This was a lintel. But you can take, like here I put in crown. You can take even this, show in browser. This is one of mine. And just place molding profile, okay? And put it in your plan. And then you can create, if you put a box around this like this, and bring it to there, break it, bring it over, bring this over to right there, and then maybe make this about like that, and maybe a little shorter. You can then group these, like actually put a little slope on the top. So maybe you'd want this to come out to here. And then you can just group these and hit this little button down here where it says Union and delete original. And you'll have something that make a pretty nice either windowsill or whatever. And now this doesn't look square in the back, so just square that up. And then just highlight this and add it to your library. And just call it sill, lintel, stucco. Oh, wait a minute. Let's keep them in order. I've created a whole bunch of these. One. And then when you go back here, like here, you can clear this one and just add that one. Let's see how that looks. Sill lintel one. It's bigger, see? And it's wrapping and it's peeling because of the bounding box, I guess. But if you look at this here closely, you know to extend it at least 3, maybe 4. How about 5? How about 6, 7? That looks about right. Let's see how this looks. There you go. That doesn't look that great, but you get my drift here. And you can actually change this lintel right here. And just use that same one. Let's see what it looks like. The nice thing about lintels is you can at least control the height. It has to extend a little longer. There we go. And there you go. Actually makes a pretty nice lintel. Now, that's the same with all these two windows have casing. This one has no casing. This one down here, these are moldings. So, like if we wanted to replace this molding up here, you can just click on this, and this is the great thing about Chief, and just change it. That's that easy. So, but those are moldings, and the way I did those, what that allowed was casing all the way around on all 4 sides of the window, and then I just applied this. Now, I do have to tell you, I don't have the window recessed. I might have it recessed. Let me see what I did here. I can't remember anymore. Recessed to sheathing layer, yeah. And then I made the casing about the exact same depth as the stucco. But you can play with that. But for houses with stucco and adding lintels, you can add these lintels because they're not really cutting through anything. When they, like with the brick, it would have to cut through 4 inches of brick to get it, unless you didn't recess your window. So, you know, that's pretty good, and that's a molding. And so, when you go over here, here it is. I used a molding polyline, and molding polylines to me are just a little easier to edit because you can pull them exactly where you want them easily. And I don't know, molding lines work the same way, but when you open this molding, you can see I have 2 moldings attached. And you can change the size here. Like I can make this 12 if I want. And here's the offset for the lintel, and here's the sill. So when we look at that, I've made the lintel a little bigger and it's stretched it out. Or you can make it smaller. It just changes, it crushes the profile, so you just have to be careful what you do. But so you can even do that with moldings on the stucco, and I hope that helps. It's works pretty nicely with the with stucco homes. One thing I wish Chief would allow us to do is to have casing and then apply these sills and lintels above the casing. I guess that should be a request. Thanks.